As a white kid growing up in the suburbs of Toronto, it should be no surprise that my favorite fictional franchise of all time is Star Wars. Over the last 2 decades, I have likely amassed over $5,000 worth of LEGO Star Wars. I got these bad boys for my 6th birthday, and right then and there, the addiction set in. Star Wars has always been a huge part of my life, passed down to me by my parents, but because it's a multi-generational franchise, there's a lot of stuff I've missed. In this video, I'm diving into Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for the first time ever, playing 10 hours completely blind. And while it's technically my first time playing the game, I'm no stranger to the Old Republic era. I've seen the lore vids, read my dad's old books, and spent plenty of time in SWTOR, which I also have a video on. Man, the music of Star Wars is so gas, but it's all copyright, so I'm not going to be able to play any of it during this video. This game starts off with a class selection screen. Unfortunately, there's basically a single sentence describing what each one does, so I just pick Soldier. Alright, for name, we're going to go for a Star Wars classic, Gaper Bingzoid, alright? Can't be a Star Wars fan if you don't know who Gaper Bingzoid is. Alright, this looks good to me, like I know what any of these numbers mean. We awake on a ship getting attacked by the Sith and are thrown into the game's tutorial. There I am! I was asleep in the middle of a war somehow.
You can move the mouse to the edges of the
Wait, this guy just broke the fourth wall. I have never seen that in a video game before, where they're like, oh yeah, press the mouse and the keyboard to do this. The Sith are looking for a Jedi on board named Bastila, and we set out to look for her by fighting our way through enemy forces. Alright, I mean, the combat's a little confusing. This is mainly tutorial stuff, so I'm not going to bother too much with summarizing it. After learning a bit more about this game's mechanics and systems, we get to the escape pods and launch to the planet below of Terrace. As we're waking up, we have this weird dream, a Jedi fighting a Sith. No clue what that means yet, but it seems important. Karth, one of the good guys on the ship, says I've been unconscious for a few days and we need to locate Bastila as soon as possible. Karth suspects her escape pod landed in the Undercity, so that's where we're headed. But before we scope out what the rest of Terrace has to offer, we need to make sure we're browsing in style. Luckily, that's not going to be an issue with this video's sponsor, Opera GX. You know them, I know them, the browser built for gamers has never been better. With unlimited customization options, you can turn a regular browsing experience into one with style. With thousands of modifications to choose from, you can go all the way from medieval to sci-fi. And listen to these sounds. I feel like it's 2012 all over again. In addition to the interactive sounds, each mod comes with loads of extra features, from color schemes to wallpapers, background music to custom fonts and icons. If you don't like one aspect, you can mix and match freely from the mod menu. Besides the plethora of mods to choose from, Opera GX has a state-of-the-art ad blocker built into the browser, ensuring a smooth and efficient experience for all users. Twitch and YouTube at the same time? No problem. With Opera GX's optimized video pop-out tools, you can watch your favorite content within a single screen, all completely ad-free too. Opera GX will only improve your browsing and gaming experience, and getting started out can be done in seconds with their one-button import tool. Huge thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring today's video. Stop browsing like a rat ghoul and elevate your game. Use my link to download Opera GX today. Oh my god. Almost killed this guy, but grenade worked. I find a guard protecting the entrance to the lower levels, but he won't let me pass without a Sith uniform or authorization pass, both of which seem somewhat illegal to require, so I find Terrace's wretched hive of scum and villainy, the Cantina. I tried to speak to as many people as I could and ended up accidentally signing up for like an arena thing. Okay, I just one-shot him, but I did make some good money. Overall, after about an hour in, I was feeling a little lost. Like Morrowind, KOTOR was made 8,000 years ago for people who don't need YouTube to eat a meal. Because this game was made for a more civilized age, there's no quest markers. I try to do these first attempts completely blind, so no online guides, walkthroughs, or mods, so I'm on my own here. You'd assume, like most RPGs, you can attack NPCs, but in this game, that's not allowed for some reason. Is there no way to fight? There's gotta be a way to fight NPCs. I literally had to explore every inch of this city, and the last place I checked happened to have some Sith troopers hassling an alien. Aha! Sith uniforms! Finally! After a quick skirmish, I was able to loot their bodies for the uniform I needed. The guy I saved is an agent of the hidden Beck gang in the Undercity. He says I should speak to his leader for more information about the crashed escape pods. Now that I finally have this stupid-ass uniform, I'm able to get past that guard to the next area. We're immediately introduced to the Vulkars, which are the rivals to the Beck gang and help take down some of their members. There's a few more Vulkars a stone's throw away from me, but they absolutely busted my cheeks. Okay, maybe I'm not high enough level for that area then. Next place I head is of course the cantina to see if I can get some info. I watch a bounty hunter gun down some fools and proceed to think it'd be a good idea to harass him too.
3.
Whoa, okay, he literally one-shot my guy. Okay, perhaps I misjudged. Okay. There is, however, a Twi'lek and Wookiee in here that work for the hidden Becks and offer to take me to their base. Okay, these guys are going to the Beck base, so I think if I just follow them, I won't have to navigate this entire maze for like an hour like I did on the upper levels. That'll be nice. What the fuck? She disappeared. I saw her walk out this door, and now she's gone. I thought I was going to be able to follow her. Oh, okay, well, that was a bit easier than I thought. After meeting the Beck leader, he's finally able to give me a tangible lead for the first time in this game. Bastila, the Jedi we're supposed to rescue, was captured by the Vulkars and taken as a slave. They're going to use her as a big prize for this upcoming race, and he wants to plant me as a driver to hopefully win that prize. To do that, I need to sneak into the Vulkars' base and steal a prototype engine, and to do that, I need to get help from Mission, that Twi'lek from earlier. Mission is in a lower part of the city where I find an even poorer village. I spent about half an hour here doing whatever quests I could find. Honestly, there isn't much. There was one with these quarantined people who are infected with the Rakul disease. This mysterious plague infects people, and after a short amount of time, they turn into this weird zombie thing. I had to basically use all of my grenades, but I was able to work my way in and offer my help to some people who hadn't transformed yet. Making my way a little further past the city, Mission runs up and tells me her Wookiee companion has been taken slave by Gamorreans. You know, those green pig dudes from episode 6? They live in the sewers, and if I help her, she'll give me the secret information I need to steal that bike part for the race.
I just hope the Rancor monster isn't still there.
Rancor? Zalbar's bowcaster. Oh, this is his, isn't that this guy? Damn, I'm happy I opened that. I would never have realized that his weapon was in there. Uh-oh. That looks like a Rancor. Alright, here we go. First KOTOR boss fight. Okay, I mean, that's as well as I thought a fight with a Rancor would go. If we place the bait properly, we can lure the Rancor into eating something lethal enough to kill it. Maybe you put it in the corpse pile so it eats the dead bodies and then gets sick and dies. Holy shit, it worked! Wait, it didn't work. What the fuck? Why didn't it work? Run! Run, Wookiee! Maybe I'm supposed to, like, put a weapon in here as well, like a grenade. Oh my god! Dude, that took me like 10 minutes. That was easier than I thought. Oh, I'm chopping up his remains? What? What the fuck? He just disappeared? After finally making it to the rival gang's compound, I had to battle through waves of enemies. Unfortunately, this left me completely crippled with absolutely zero med packs trapped inside the middle of two hordes of enemies. My genius solution was to repair a patrol droid to fight on my behalf. Unfortunately, he only patrols a small area, which means I had to drag the enemies to him one by one. Get him! We did it! Okay, we got a couple of them now. Okay, we're working on it. We're doing it. Okay, that's about half of them gone. Slowly but surely, we're doing it. No, he hit me. I should have just backed off. I should have just waited. Oh, I have to do that all over again. Oh. This last lieutenant drove me to the brink of insanity, but after throwing my entire inventory's worth of grenades, I was finally able to take him down. Oh my god, we did it. I need to quick save right now. Oh my god. We're redeemed. Oh my god, we're so back. At this point, I'd been playing for over 4 hours. I was stuck in that little fucking dungeon with my companions at 1 HP for over an hour alone. I can only take so much suffering in a single day, so it was time for me to hang it up and try again tomorrow. Before you hear my day 1 recap, make sure to like the video if you're enjoying. If we hit 10,000 likes, I'll do a part 2. These videos take me over 25 hours to put together and edit, so if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. It really means a lot to me. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, I do write these scripts like a journal, so you can get a glimpse into my opinions and perspectives and watch them evolve as I play. Obviously, there's more runtime in this video, but after day 1, I was not feeling great, and this is what I wrote. Unlike Morrowind, which is ironically older, KOTOR systems feel severely outdated for an RPG and are quite frankly challenging to enjoy as a younger gamer. The combat is static and unengaging. Exploring is a drag, and although the worlds are heavily populated, it feels dead. Most NPCs have nothing to say or can't be interacted with at all in ways you see commonplace in other titles. In 4.5 hours of gameplay, I think I came across 2 side quests, only one of which I'd classify as interesting in any degree. If it wasn't for my already existing familiarity with SWTOR and my love for this universe, I probably would have stopped playing. I hope day 2 is an improvement on day 1 as I learn more about the game. To start off day 2, we're headed back to the bane of my existence to retrieve the prototype engine for the upcoming race. I made sure to buy as many goddamn med packs as I possibly could. Mission, who I've been sending into the fray as a human shield, reveals that I should probably be a little more careful when calling her my companion, especially around the police.
I ain't no kid. I'm 14 years old.
What the hell? She's 14? We sneak back into the complex to be greeted with a decision. I'm offered to betray the hidden Becks and join the rival gang. Assuming this game is like SWTOR, this is likely a path to start an evil storyline. I decide to stick with my friends. Not saying I'm friends with Mission, okay? I'm not a Minecraft YouTuber. After dispatching with the Volcar, we get some cool loot and reclaim the engine. Now that we have the special piece, I'm told by the leader to get ready for the race the next day. I was really dreading this quest because I know what Star Wars video games are capable of when it comes to races. But this was the easiest shit of my life. This is the type of high reflex game that would put boomers in the hospital back in the day, but for me, this is fucking nothing. Another race? No problem. Let's run it back. Oh my god, it's just too easy. It's just too easy. It's just too easy. Of course, after beating the bricks off these fucking losers, the leader of the Volcars refuses to give me my prize. I do find it interesting that of all the races, humanoid and alien, in this massive Star Wars universe, BioWare decided to make both the gang leaders black men. 2003 was a different time, I suppose, because you know damn well this would not have been greenlit nowadays. Anyway, Bastila finally does something. There we go. I was gonna say, how is a Jedi just like chilling in a cage? She helps me fight off the gang members. Kinda. Come on, Jedi. Hit him. Look at this engaging combat. It's like Morrowind all over again. Miss, miss, miss. All I see are misses. Just kill him. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, please. Finally. Of all the things I expected her to finally say, I was not expecting her to be this rude.
Brejik and his Volkers would have left you for dead if I hadn't stepped into that fight. You're lucky.
Hey, man, like, there's no need for this hostility. I tried to help you. You don't need to be mean. You know, I know you're a Jedi and I'm just a lowly soldier, but come on. I mean, it's not Pong Krell level, but she doesn't give a flying fuck about me. In fact, she infers I was a hindrance to her escape plan. Anyway, once we're safely back home, I get a vision. I guess that's her then. Is that Revan? Who's that?
Cannot win,
oh, it is.
Revan.
Holy shit. Karth, thankfully, has my back and tells Bastila she's being a bit of a jerk.
But a leader doesn't berate her troops just because things aren't going as planned.
Yeah, thank you. I apologize for taking this Giga Chad off my roster. He will be replacing Mission immediately before I face any more criminal allegations. Once Bastila chills out a bit, I reveal I had a vision, and she says I might be force sensitive, which is pretty cool. We still need to find a way off Terrace, and after leaving the apartment, I'm approached by someone carrying a message. He says a Mandalorian by the name of Canderous has heard of my recent exploits and wishes to meet me in the cantina. I've seen this guy a few hours ago, but only made note of his arms. Cool, he's got a big-ass gun. big ass arms. This guy would make a good addition to the team. As we make our way to the cantina, Karth decides to start yapping about Bastila being the Jedi the Sith are looking for right in front of the guards. That guy just said she was a Jedi and a Sith trooper just walked right in front. Thankfully, they somehow don't notice and we meet up with the Mandalorian. He says he knows how to get off Terrace, but needs us to infiltrate the Sith armory and steal the launch code so we don't get shot down. To do that, we need a special droid, which a vendor tried to fleece me for. 2,000 credits! After persuading the shopkeep to hand it over for free, we're able to break into the Sith base. We have to kill some guards, of course, but this lets me try out Bastila, who seems crazy powerful.
The Force fights with me.
Holy shit, she like one shot. By sheer luck, the one path I took brought us right to the guy holding the codes. We get a cool little cutscene of a Sith capital ship and one of the coolest Sith of all time. Oh, it's Malak. Holy shit. He got his jaw chopped off from Revan, right? To summarize, Malak wants the Sith fleet to open fire on the planet of Terrace so Bastila doesn't escape. Despite the pleas of his admiral, he's willing to kill billions of civilians and their own troops just to ensure she doesn't get away. Back on Terrace, we're introduced to our Mandalorian friend's boss who takes us on a tour of his compound while flexing his ship, the Ebon Hawk. This is what we need to steal, but he makes it very clear the high level of security around it. We also see that bounty hunter guy from earlier. Oh, this guy's the bounty hunter who I tried to fight and he just instantly killed me. From the estate slaves, we learn the pilot for the Ebon Hawk is currently being tortured for getting too high on spice, and we break him out with the hopes of him being able to help us. He gives us the security codes needed to break into the ship, and we make our way to the hangar. Okay, I'm not even hurting these guys. They're full HP. I did not do a point of damage. There's gotta be another way to do that fight. Yeah, this fight didn't go super well. It took me several tries before I figured out you only need to get the bounty hunter to about half health before a cutscene triggers. He threatens to blow the place up, but the scaffolding falls on top of him anyway, killing them both. I snag some loot from their corpses and make my way to the Ebon Hawk. We get another cutscene of Malak's fleet bombing the shit out of this planet, but luckily we're able to sneak out. We got spotted by some fighters, and I have to take them down in this turret thing, which took me a while to get used to. After escaping the fighters, I think I'm given a choice on where I want to go next. Either Dantooine or wherever Karth wants to go. I've had the most fun with this combat system while playing Bastila, so I want to do everything I can to become a Jedi, so I picked Dantooine. Dantooine has a bit of a problem. Whoa, what the hell's going on with the sky? Whoa, what the got a little bit of texture issues here. Something just fucked the graphics of this place, and I had no idea what it was. Outside, inside, everywhere, there's these wild streaks of broken texture flying all over the place. We're just gonna have to try and ignore that for now. There's a couple cutscenes here over the span of just under an hour, so I'll try my best to summarize it really quick. We meet with a council of Jedi Masters. They tell me I'm super awesome and handsome and strong with the Force, so if I want to, I can just become a Jedi. Fairly convenient, but I accept their offer, and they give me a place to stay during the training. One night, I have a dream of Revan and Malak unlocking an ancient temple here on Dantooine looking for something called the Star Forge. After this dream, the council says Bastila had the same one and were linked somehow. They teach me their Jedi ways, and I learn years worth of training in the matter of weeks. I then have to pass some trials to become a Padawan. The first trial is to recite the Jedi Code, and like the loser I am, I know that shit off by heart. There's probably some books or something you're supposed to read for this, but I'm built different and I just know it. The next trial is determining what class of Jedi I'd like to be. My build is kind of in-your-face meathead bashing, so I go with the Guardian class who use a blue lightsaber. I then select my skills and forge my lightsaber. There we go. I look cool as hell. My final trial requires me to go to a grove that has a high concentration of dark energy to test my resolve. Remind you of anything? So, I head out to find this grove and am confronted with this abomination. Oh my god, this skybox, bro. What the fuck am I looking at? I just try to ignore it as best I can. I speak to all the NPCs I can find, picking up a bunch of side quests. I fight some dogs, fight some more dogs, and come across a weird cave. It's right now I notice these weird skylines kind of look like swaying wheat. I think the texture bug is coming from grass. It looks like grains of wheat or grass like waving turn off grass? Would that do something? Oh my god, it fixed it. Oh my god. Why is that enabled by default? Like, it looks the same. I was so happy to finally fix this, but at this point, I was approaching 7 hours of game time and decided to call it there for the day. Here are my thoughts after day 2 of KOTOR, and spoiler, they were much better. After 7 hours in KOTOR, I have finally begun to slowly warm up to this game's ancient mechanics. Yes, combat is essentially an Excel spreadsheet with very little player skill expression, but the Jedi class is more fun than what I had access to previously. The story is beginning to get very interesting with the introduction of Malak, the Starforge, and the fall of Revan. Now I have something I actually care about story-wise. No offense to Bastila, but I felt like I was only saving her because this game wanted me to. The terrace escape sequence was also really fun. I like the fact they added a skill-driven combat mechanic, even if it was pretty short-lived. Dantooine feels remarkably different to Terrace, both in terms of design and mechanics. Right off the bat, I picked up like 4 side quests, and the world feels so much more open and enjoyable to explore. Also, picking my Jedi class and lightsaber was fucking peak. That was a lot of fun too. What up? We back, day 3. More Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. I decided to go back and add Canderous to my party because the quests I'm doing are all about like invading Mandalorians, and I want to see if he has any interesting dialogue. Also, he heals passively, which is pretty helpful. After we made our adjustment to the party, we head back to that weird cave. Unfortunately, we're not allowed in because we haven't completed our 3 trials yet. We still have to cleanse the grove. Geographically, it's honestly not too far, but as expected with these older games, you're bogged down with the same enemy type on repeat until your sanity slowly diminishes. For Dantooine, it's these hounds, which unfortunately are super tanky and drop 0 loot. Luckily, we did pick up some side quests to hunt down various Mandalorians, so they're scattered around too and provide some much needed combat diversity. On the way to the grove, we come across a Jedi trying to solve a murder. This mission took me 32 minutes to complete, but it was a little fun whodunit where you use clues and inconsistencies to try and solve a murder. I don't skip dialogue unless it's the stupid alien speech in this game that loops the same voice line over and over again. That shit is starting to piss me off. Are they repeating the same voice lines? That guy said that like 3 times back to back. He said it again. I'm not joking. The Twi'leks are genuinely starting to agitate me. Thankfully for this mission, everyone spoke English, so I didn't feel like I wanted to blow my brains out. After this side quest, we come across a dark Jedi meditating in the grove. I'm able to take her down solo and try my best to reconvert her back to the light, but my persuasion is just too low, I guess. I'm forced to kill her and report back to the council. We get another side quest here about a dispute between 2 farmers. It's like a Romeo and Juliet mission. The 2 offspring of these families love each other against the parents' wishes. Juliet's dad kidnaps Romeo and locks him up, but we help them both escape and start a new life together. We don't get a reward at all, so I just did it out of the goodness of my heart, I suppose. Say what you will about the dark side, they definitely make more money. Speaking of, we find a robot that was briefly mentioned to us a few hours ago by a distraught woman.
You don't want to know.
Oh god. She was banging this robot. I knew when I spoke to her, she was a little... I think we're to infer she's been banging this thing, and the robot was so scarred, he literally ran for his life to commit suicide. I couldn't bear to send him back, so I honor his wishes and slice him down. Near this robot, however, is a cave with a shit ton of lightsaber crystals. We were hinted about these caves before, but the crystals can be used in the workbench to improve our lightsabers. I really want a double-bladed lightsaber, but I don't know how to make one, and I don't want to steal Bastila's. Oh well. We head back to our primary objective and locate that spooky cave from our previous dream. This robot gives us a really cool lore dump about a mysterious race called the Builders, who built this temple and the Starforge 20,000 years ago. We have to kill 2 mini-bosses and figure out a puzzle on 2 computers before we're allowed into the final chamber. After doing that, we're presented with a map outlining several planets. Bastila guesses each of these planets likely have a portion of this star map, and after collecting all of them, we can finally find the Starforge. I don't quite understand this. We know the Sith have the Starforge. They have it. So wouldn't it make more sense just to find the Sith? The map is going to lead us to where the Starforge was after Malak and Revan took it, so It seems irrelevant. Anyway, after finding the first map fragment, we report back to the council, who seem to have zero record of this artifact. They task us with following the trail, and I decide to head to Kashyyyk next. Before we take off, our Wookiee friend tells us someone has been stealing supplies on the ship. We investigate and find someone has been eating our food. Where's the rat? There's a rat on this fucking ship eating my goddamn food. Oh. It's a kid. This girl's name is Sasha, and I spent 17 minutes, yes, that's actually how long I spent, trying to decipher her language. I remembered one of the first side quests I picked up was a guy looking for this girl, so I decided to just tell him I found her. Again, no reward, but I get some light side points and XP. Off to Kashyyyk. We discover this planet has been completely colonized by a trading company of sorts, who harvest the planet's resources and participate in the slave trade of Wookiees. I was happy to hear my companion had a little story arc to follow while on this planet, and I promised to help redeem himself to his father. Our claws are tools, not weapons. To use them in battle is to become an animal. Interesting. I never knew about that. The trading company officer tells me a little bit about the planet, but clearly has no remorse for my Wookiee friends. Aw, is that they have a Wookiee in here? In a cage? Dude, that's so sad. Oh my god. I was going to make it my mission to shut these guys down if I could, but at this point I'd clocked almost 11 hours and decided to wrap it up. In lieu of my day 3 journal entry, I'm just going to jump into my first impressions of KOTOR after 10 hours. Please keep in mind, what I say here isn't objectively correct, it's an opinion. However, my opinions are likely less based in nostalgia or bias compared to yours. That being said, I will admit right now I do have a massive bias for Star Wars. This is my favorite franchise of all time. I of course am going to be more likely to enjoy the world compared to someone who is 100% new. Let's not mince any words. I almost quit this game several times. I'm glad in hindsight I pushed through. I am genuinely enjoying the game now, but I only persisted because I like Star Wars. If I gave KOTOR to my other Zoomer friends, I promise you 75% of them are not making it past Terrace. It's not happening. The biggest reason, without question, is the combat. It's simply too outdated for modern standards. It's clunky, there's little to zero skill expression, the interactivity is almost non-existent. It's like an idle game where you can pause, issue a queue of commands, and just sit there waiting for them to be fulfilled. Maybe if they added a little QuickTime event where you press a key at the right time, you get to parry something, I don't know. This is by far the worst combat system I've ever seen in an RPG. But don't get me wrong, I can appreciate the D&D combat mechanics. Similar to Morrowind, you can miss attacks, crit, yada yada yada. But at least Morrowind has a fatigue system so the player can kind of infer on their own their chances of success. KOTOR is just RNG. Doesn't matter if you're well rested, high HP, low HP, whatever, it's just a dice roll every time. I got used to the controls and movement after a while. The Jedi speed ability is a godsend for traversing the open world, but everything I just described is the gameplay. 80% of the game is combat and exploring, and if that doesn't sound interesting to you, you're gonna have to hope something else in this game is, which luckily for me, is the case. Although this game's age doesn't do it any favors, it encapsulates that early 2000s RPG vibe most games miss out on nowadays. A more true role-playing experience through dialogue options and gameplay that can drastically change your story. I would love to play this game again and see what the Sith storyline looks like, assuming it has one. It's possible my expectations of this game are slightly higher than reality. Again, I've never played it before. It would for sure be disappointing if the main quest is more or less identical regardless of your path. Jedi, Sith, Soldier, Smuggler, etc. Even SWTOR has that system in place, so I'm sure KOTOR does too, but you can let me know in the comments. Side questing for the most part is solid. There's definitely a few that caught me off guard or had me chuckle, but I find a lot didn't contribute to the overall world building. You could copy and paste a lot of these quests across any planet. There's nothing that makes them unique. The Terrace Arena quest is the only one that comes to mind where it's like, okay, this is cool. This is something I couldn't find on every planet. It leans into that undercity crime vibe Terrace has. Every planet in Star Wars is so unique, and I don't feel like the side quest did a good enough job to differentiate each planet. I do have high hopes for Kashyyyk. It is extremely different compared to anything else, so I do hope the quests there are a little bit more unique. Again, I appreciate the side questing is plentiful, but most aren't super engaging or interesting, and I did a fair amount. The companion system I do think is done pretty well. Each has a unique story and dialogue encounters during your already existing quests, which does a great job to add some more flavor and replayability. Sometimes your companions want to do different things than what you might want to, and it adds another layer of choice for the player. Massive fucking props to BioWare. I don't know how they did it, but KOTOR, without any mods, is still more stable than most Bethesda games I've tried on this channel. I did crash once or twice and the sky got assaulted by that grass texture bug, but overall, it's actually been a very smooth experience. Finally, the overall narrative is now just starting to get super interesting. As soon as we left Terrace, the main story kicked in, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm a huge Revan fanboy, and I loved his DLC in SWTOR. I've never read his novel, but I do have a vague understanding of his story. Malik is definitely more unfamiliar to me, so I am excited to learn more about him. I personally think Star Wars is one of the most interesting universes to explore, and I've been in love with it since I was a kid, but I can understand it's not for everyone. Overall, I think I'd give KOTOR a solid 7 out of 10 for a first impression. It's something I'm excited to play more of despite my challenges, and if we hit 10,000 likes, I promise I'll do another video. But hey, this was just my opinion after 10 hours. I also gave Morrowind a 6 out of 10 in my first attempt, and now it's one of my favorite games ever. Time will tell. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you to all my lovely members for your additional support. Everyone on screen has early access to videos, polls, and exclusive content. Becoming a member is completely optional, but I appreciate it all the more. Make sure to check out the videos on your screen now. YouTube's algorithm thinks you'll like them. I'm Frostbreak, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.